Kyrie Irving, who has until June 29 to opt in or decline his $36.5 million player option for next season. If he opts in, Irving would be eligible for an extension with the Nets or could play out the season and become a free agent in 2023. If Irving declines the option, he becomes a free agent this year, but would still be eligible to sign a max deal with the Nets if they're willing to offer it. Now, let's welcome in our senior ESPN NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. So, Woj, you got a piece on ESPN.com about Kyrie Irving's looming contract decision. What is in the balance here for Kyrie Irving?
Well, I think for Kyrie Irving and the Nets is, of course, first of all, does he return to Brooklyn? Now, his options outside of the Nets, especially if the Nets are not willing or don't get engaged in sign and trade talks, are limited. There are not teams with cap space. Teams with space are perhaps not teams he would be interested in, and perhaps I don't think are interested in him. Now, the Lakers are considered the most significant threat right now for Kyrie Irving, but that would essentially entail him taking $30 million less than he can opt into in Brooklyn. There's a $6 million taxpayer exemption he could sign with the Lakers with. Now, most people would say a player is not going to give up that much money, but Kyrie Irving gave up nearly $17 million last year because of his refusal to get vaccinated. He lost a significant shoe deal with Nike, or is in the process of losing that shoe deal with Nike. So I think that the Nets have gone into this with their eyes open that it's possible he could walk. He has done things differently in his career, but I think there's a sweet spot for the Nets and for Kyrie Irving to find a deal. And if they don't, how does that impact Kevin Durant's future with the Nets? All of that's at stake this week.
Yeah, and that's my follow-up here. Where does Kevin Durant lie in all of this?
And this is the real difficult position for Brooklyn because Kevin Durant remains very connected to Kyrie Irving. They came here together, and they are still together. Kevin Durant wants Kyrie Irving back. And what the Nets are risking, if Kyrie Irving does leave, does Kevin Durant then ask for a trade? Now, he just signed an extension last season. He's got 4 years left. It's difficult to ask for a trade with that much time left on your deal, and it's certainly difficult to dictate perhaps where you would like to go. The Nets want to avoid all of that. And certainly, I think Kyrie Irving's best leverage right now is the pressure that Kevin Durant is putting on the organization. And listen, there are other players. It has not been easy to keep role players in Brooklyn and to recruit role players in Brooklyn, especially with all the drama around Irving. And that impacts how they build the team too. But ultimately, Kevin Durant is the epicenter of this organization. And the Nets, in one hand, are trying to stay disciplined on an extension. They want to do a short-term deal with Kyrie Irving. He can opt into that $46 million, as you said, or he can opt out and get as much as $42 million in the first year of a new deal. But he wants a long-term max deal. That's not available to him right now in Brooklyn, nor is it available to him anywhere else. So, listen, there's going to be a lot of back and forth as the Nets, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant move forward. But no question, there's a great deal at stake. This was a grand experiment in Brooklyn, having Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and, of course, James Harden all together. And, what the Nets, of course, are trying to avoid is a scenario where Kyrie Irving leaves and then Kevin Durant says to them, I'd like to play somewhere else.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.